Hey, my name's Izzy, coming at you with another Good Enough Commander podcast. This time, commanders you should avoid. Just like in general, don't play these commanders. Why? Are they bad? Are they too good? There's a lot of reasons. One underlining reason you'll come into finding as we go through these cards is people hate them. And that's the issue. If you play a commander that everyone hates, you're not going to be able to play commander. You'll either be hated out of the game, or your commander will never stick on the field because they will just hold their removal to remove it because they hate it. Okay? So this is a PSA to anyone out there thinking about building these commanders. Don't. As in, don't build these commanders. Because you won't have fun. I'm not saying everyone will hate these commanders. I'm just saying if you bring them to your local game store, you have a high chance of someone going, yeah, screw you. And then you're just like, why? And they're just like, well, because of one of these 17 different reasons as to why. Also, you're ugly. So, leads to name calling. It does, usually. Yeah, lots of name calling when you run these type of commanders. So, do you deserve it? Probably not. Are you going to receive it? 100%. So, I do highly suggest not running them. But who are them? What commanders are we talking about? Where did I find the commanders? Lots of questions to ask. First off, if you like my content, feel free to smash the subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Truly does. Every time I see that number goes up, I get a little serotonin. But let's talk about these cards and my feelings towards them. First two, bam. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, and Imrakul, the Promised End. Now, this whole list is in no particular order. I just paired some together, like these two, and a few others have pairs, but a lot of them are on their own. But these are the two Eldrazi's. They kind of represent all of the Eldrazi's. I'm pretty sure if we were to do a new poll of commanders you don't want to see, the new Ulamog might be on there because he's just as gross. But they really show you what people don't want to deal with, okay? Now, first off, people love Eldrazi's, except for when they don't. So for everyone who likes Eldrazi's and thinks having Cthulhu-esque demon or Cthulhu-esque creatures within our world of magic is cool and interesting, and the amorphous blobs that these creatures are is so cool. The issue is, for everyone who likes them, you have people who go, I hate them. But why? Well, number one, they're played. They're overplayed. And this leads into why people would hate a commander. If you could have a commander that no one likes playing against. One that's just the antithesis of fun. If no one plays it, it's not going to be hated. You don't have to worry about not running it. No one plays the card for the most part. There's a few exceptions to this. But yeah, like, you will see Ulamog and Imrakul all the time. Why? Because Eldrazi decks are super fun. Okay? And that's they're just a one-of card within the Eldrazi deck. It can't be that bad, right? But they're hated so much by everyone. Now move it from the 99 and put it as your commander, and people are going to get more mad. Sure, you can argue with them, oh, well, I only have, like, colorless. So there's not a lot I can do. That's changing a lot. But also, if you're in colorless and you're running an Eldrazi as a commander, your deck is built around ramp, and you're going to cast commanders. Now we've seen it. We've seen it. Every single Eldrazi commander is just commander deck. Is just, here's a bunch of ramp. Here's Mellow Eldrazi. Why? Because Eldrazi are boss monsters, and once they hit the field, you kind of just take the game over. But let's get into the card by card. Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger is 10 generic mana for a 10/10 legendary creature Eldrazi, and when you cast this spell, you exile 2 target permanents. It has indestructible, and whenever it attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of your library. Let's break that down into each section. Okay, 10 mana is not that bad. If you're ramping every single turn, it means you're exponentially going up, right? Turn 1, you play a ramp spell for 1. Or let's say even not on turn 1. Let's say turn 2, you play a ramp spell, so you're at 3. Turn 3, you play a ramp spell, so you're at 5. Turn 4, you have your 4th mana, so you're at 6. Your 4th land, you're at 6 mana. And with 6 mana, you can probably play 2 ramp spells, minimum. So now you're at 8 mana. Then you play a land, and you do another ramp spell on turn 5. So by turn 6, you've got Ulamog out. Even if you counter Ulamog, you're still exiling 2 permanents. So you can threaten the blue person, hey, don't counter my stuff or I'm targeting you. Like, promise me that you're not going to counter Ulamog, and I'll target them. If you don't promise me, I'm targeting you. And if he doesn't want to lose his stuff, he's going to go like, okay, they're going to go like, okay, I won't. And then you're going to exile to someone else's things. Ulamog's going to hit the field. Maybe he tosses the thing and is like, oh, don't attack me first. Okay, cool. Once it hits the field, it's indestructible. Yes, there's ways to get rid of it. A lot of ways with exile. Well, a lot of ways. There's two. Well, okay. I guess if you're going up against a white or a white-black player, you have a lot of ways to remove Ulamog. But if you don't got to worry about that. So 3 of the colors aren't a problem. Because white and black are the only things with like good removal spells that are exile. So it hits the field. It's hard to remove. You can even just run board wipes in the deck. There's some colorless board wipes that clear the field. And then when it attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of the library. That's the cherry on top. That really makes everyone hate this card. Not only are people tired of seeing Eldrazi's, not only are people tired of, oh cool, it's a cast trigger, so even if I counter it, I'm losing stuff. Not only do they hate the fact that it's got protection, on top of all this, you're losing 20 cards that you're never going to be able to cast back. They're not in your graveyard. Milling is already annoying enough, but exiling them? Great. Now what am I supposed to do? I automatically just get upset. I'm not happy with the rest of the people here. I don't like this. I don't want this. Okay? In fact, I have personally, in an Eldrazi deck, a handful of times swung with Ulamog and had the person scoop. Because they exiled the top 20 cards, noticed that the good cards that they wanted to play aren't available anymore, or the cards they needed to be able to win, because it's the one way that they know their deck kind of functions, aren't there. And you just removed them from the game, and they even blocked Ulamog with like a squirrel, right? But losing 20% of your deck, a little more, because you've got cards removed from drawing, just sucks. It's not fun. It's unfun to play against Ulamog, and I don't think it's fun to play it because of that unfun feeling, okay? And it's why I'm telling you, avoid Ulamog. Just don't play him. It's not fun, and this goes for his new counter. If you couldn't tell, I took this all off the Salt list on EDH Rec, but that was from 2024, and not enough people have seen the new Ulamog. The new Ulamog is just as bad, if not worse, because it does it on cast. You actually have like the top half of someone's library. It's really gross. Something like that. But yeah, don't play Ceaseless Hunger, guys. I honestly don't think you should play it in the 99, but if you are because it's flavorful, I get it. But again, yeah, removing someone's fun from the game isn't worth it. And now let's talk about Umrakul's Promised End. This is a 13 generic for a 13/13 Eldrazi. This spell casts 1 less to cast for each card type among cards in your graveyard. You're in colorless, so you don't have the best, but you can usually make this guy like -4, right? A fetch land, or some type of land, an artifact, a creature, usually like an artifact creature, an enchantment. And you could probably nowadays find like achievements in sorcery, so you could reduce it by up to 6, making it only 7 to cast. But even if you just reduce it by 3 to 10, it's 10. But it's a 13/13, and whenever you cast this spell, you gain control of target opponent during that player's next turn. After that turn, that player takes an extra turn. Flying, trample, protection from instance. So, people don't live this. There's so much stuff to do with this. Number one, it's a 13/13, and a lot of times, and I've done this myself. I'm not proud of it. I stopped doing it because of this. Okay. An opponent attack, or you cast Imracool, right? You steal their card or their turn. They go to their turn. You swing their commander at you. You block with Imracool, and you dump their commander in the graveyard because you're in control of their turn, so they no longer have their commander. That's not fun. It's not nice. It's nothing. It's just not something you should do. No one's enjoying the game anymore. You've just removed the person's commander. And that's just kind of a douchey thing to do. Okay? Flying, trample, protection from instances is also annoying, right? So it's a 13/13 with flying and trample. So even if you got a small bird, it's going to hit you. And that means 2 hits, Imracool knocks someone out. And there's plenty of equipments that are colorless that can give it double strikes, or it can one-shot people in the decks. Protected from instances means a lot of removal that people are running nowadays, and the more people get better at Magic, the less sorcery removals people run. So the harder Imracool is to remove, not just a board wipe. But why would you want to board wipe him? He'll just be recast and take someone else's turn. Sure, they get another turn afterwards, but you just mess them up so much. It's not fun. Taking people's stuff is not fun. People don't like it. They don't find it interesting. And taking their turn is less. Okay? I think stealing people's cards from their, field isn't as bad because, it's almost basically a removal, but it still can be hurtful. But in this case, I would just remove any notion of building these commanders. If they're in your Eldrazi deck, my personal opinion is to drop them, but thematically, I get it. Go ahead. Just know, no one likes you. Next up, of course, we can't talk about a list of commanders you just shouldn't play without talking about Tergrid. Tergrid, God of Fright, is 3 and 2 black for a 4/5 god, legendary creature, god with menace. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Tergrid's Lantern is 3 and a black for a legendary artifact. Tap it. Target player loses 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. 3 and a black. Untap Tergrid's Lantern. So, Tergrid's Lantern, we're going to talk about this one because this is not the salt side. But in and out of itself, infinite mono wins you the game. Because you can infinitely untap it, and then tap it, and target player loses 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. So if you can just infinitely untap and tap Tergrid's Lantern, eventually they can't sacrifice, and they die. So, there's that. You can get infinite mana, sacrifice Tergrid somehow, cast the Tergrid's Lantern, you can just win. But we're going to talk about Tergrid. And we're going to talk about stealing people's cards. I used to love stealing people's cards in games. Any effect that, target creature, you control them till end of turn, and then you'd run ways to flicker it so that it returns to the battlefield under its controller, not its owner. So then that the return effect isn't there, and you keep it, right? There's a lot of commanders that kind of run like that, where you get to keep it, or maybe you sacrifice it to something. So you get some advantage with it, and you got to swing with it, and there's so much upside there. And I'm going to state this for the record. It is okay to do that. 100%. The reason being is that it's the same thing as removal. It is. If you steal a creature, swing with it, deal some damage, sacrifice it. It's like if you cast a 4-color or like a 3-mana ability that's like destroy target creature, it deals damage equal to its power to an opponent, unless they sacrifice a creature. Right? So they can choose to block. If not, they get hit, and then you sacrifice it, or you keep it. Keeping it can be a little bit more rude. Stealing commanders is something... Like, okay, when you steal a commander, it's the equivalence of, like... It's almost the equivalence of, like, elking a commander, and then the commander's just gone forever. It's not... It's like, frowned upon. But it's a game. See, the other two were like, okay, I don't want to play this game anymore. When you steal a person's card and then sacrifice it or keep it on their side of the field, it's not too bad. It's just like annoying. Torgrid's not doing that though. Okay, I got to be upfront. I said all that just to clear the field that I don't think I'm against people stealing cards. I'm against Torgrid, and the reason why is because whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you can steal it. Oh, cat tax. Here's my cat. This is Faye. Everyone say hi to Faye. So the reason why I'm against Torgrid is because the whole build of the deck, it's not that the build of the deck is steal. That's not the problem. The build of the deck is you don't get anything, and I get everything. And that's what people hate about her. Okay? People can't stand the fact that the whole build with Torgrid is discard, which people already don't like, and forced sacrifice, which people already don't like. And what people hate about it more is that you get to this finite point of, not only do I lose stuff, you get it. And it doesn't matter if it's a land. Because it just says permanent, so you're ramping too. So even if you're like, oh yeah, you get to choose what you discard. Okay, I'll discard a non-permanent. Cool, that's your best choice, by the way. But if you do choose to discard a permanent, oh, I'll discard a land. Thanks to the ramp. Oh, you're gonna discard what? You're discarding this? Cool, I'm just gonna get it too. And you know, like, the better the decks are, the better Torgrid gets. Like, it can get gross. I think Torgrid is just not a fun commander for people to play. And I just don't think you should. Torgrid's Lantern, I mean, like, if you want to build a deck around Torgrid's Lantern, that's fine. Like, show off Torgrid's Lantern as your commander, and just go, yeah, this is my commander. But, like, it's just an infinite mana commander, right? So, like, yeah. But don't play Torgrid, guys. You're gonna be hated off the table. People are gonna see it. I think it's like the second most saltiest commander there is. I just suggest not touching it. Just don't touch it. It's not worth playing, and you're gonna be hated out of like, you're just gonna be hated on. So the deck's gonna sit there doing nothing after you try it once. Okay, let's get into Hokar. Hokori? Yeah, Hokori. Dust Drinker. Okay, Hokori Dust Drinker is 2 and 2 white for a 2/2 spirit. Lands don't untap during their controller's untap step, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player untaps a land he or she controls. Don't. As in, why the heck would you run this as your commander? Do you want to be hated? Look, I love stacks. I'm a stacks lover. I play hate bears. I enjoy a good stacks piece. But Hokori in your command zone? Why? What? Who hurt you? Who? So, Lands don't untap during the controller's untap step, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player untaps the land he or she controls. So you're just running Artifact Ramp in this deck. So you don't care about lands. And Hikari just says, ha ha, ha ha, get wrecked. And then you might go, well, Hikari's a 2/2, you can remove it. Yeah, well, guess what? Hikari's also an equipment deck. Sorry, not sorry. Because you lock the game down with Hikari very hard. Because casually, Hikari goes, heh, your lands are locked. Which is a lot of casual people's. Ramping-wise is land. But what this does is says, I don't care, you're gone. And that's not nice. It's mean. It's rude. It's not fun. You just shouldn't do it. Okay? So. I mean, what else is there to say about Hikari? Just don't. Don't do it. Don't play it. Don't be rude. Don't be mean. It's not a nice idea. Okay? There's not a lot else to say about it. People don't like stacks. If you're going to play a stack, you're not going to be liked in the commanders, in like local games. You're really going to get that hate. And that's a problem. You don't want to be hated out of the place. And here's the thing. If you play stacks once, you're going to be known as that person who plays stacks. Even if it was like a one-time thing, everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, watch out. This person runs stacks. I should know. Happened to me. I made one stacks deck. I played it once. I made several stacks decks. I used to play them. I stopped. Everyone's like, that's the stacks player. And it's like, no, I'm not. Stacks is part of the game. Get over yourself. And they're like, never. So they wouldn't get over themselves. And they just assumed I would always play stacks. And I didn't. And part of you might be wondering, well, don't you just go into it, right? Like, live it. Live the concept that they hate. Be the stacks player. Then have fun never playing Magic with people. So, Hikari's bad enough in the 99, but if you see it as a commander, don't play against it. Tell them to not play it. Tell them, don't you want to have friends? I'm not playing against Hikari. This is going to be a boring, slow deck. Or game. And their argument is always going to be, don't you run other ramp that's not land ramp? Just don't play your land-based ramp deck. Okay, but like, when are you getting it out, huh? Or like, when is Hikari coming up? You gonna break it out on turn 3? That's not nice. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not fun. Not fun. Okay. I just had to turn my ear on because I was overheating. So let me know. Because I record this. Let me know if you hear that air. If you do, I apologize, and maybe this whole thing is trash at that point. But we'll find out. I hope you can. I can hear it, so I'm assuming you guys can hear it. But I'll just talk a little louder and maybe talk over it. But yeah, don't run Hikari. Next up is Grand Arbiter Augustus the 5th. IV 4th. 4th. 2, a white and a blue for a 2/3 human advisor. White spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast. Okay, here's the thing. Grand Arbiter's played a lot because it's actually a fun commander because it reduces blue and white and blue spells, which is fun. If it didn't have that, like, spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast, it might actually be a fun commander to play on a regular basis. But because your opponents are now stuck dealing with that stupid spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast, they're going to hate you. And Grand Arbiter Augustus the 4th already has so much hate. So they're going to see it, and they're not going to care. They don't care if you're playing a multicolored deck. They see Augustus, and now all their spells cost 1 more, and now everything they want to do costs 1 more, and they hate you. It's not as bad as Hogak, or Hikari, but it is annoying. And annoying is the key. But here's the thing. It's just a little annoying. Which means people think they can run it. People go like, I can play this card. So it's seen more often than something like a Hikari or even like the Eldrazi's. Because it's a 2-color deck. People like Orzhov. It is an Orzhov card, so it should have some type of stacks effect. It's not that bad of a stacks effect. But because more people have seen it, more people hate it. Should you not play this commander? Yeah. But again, The reason I'm telling you to not play these commanders isn't just because people hate them. Why would you play a card that people hate? No, it's because I want you to enjoy Magic. And if you decide to play these commanders, you will not enjoy Magic. Because they won't let you enjoy Magic. In a neutral world, no one cares what you play. But the world isn't neutral, and people are going to hate you for playing it. Because it's not fun to play against. Just slightly, a little. But because people have a notion that they hate this card, you can't play it, guys. So just don't play Grand Arbiter Augustus IV. Just leave it there. Let it sit there or on its floating thing, looking fancy and doing absolutely jack all. Okay? It's not a fun commander. Doesn't actually help you proceed your game. It gives you just a little bit of a discount on your 2-color cards and a less of a discount on your 1. So I honestly suggest you just leave it be. Toxrill the Corrosive is an interesting one. So this is 5 and 2 black for a 7/7 slug heal horror. At the beginning of each end step, put a slime counter on each creature you don't control. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. Whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter on it dies, create a 1/1 black slug creature token. Black and a blue and a black, sacrifice slug, draw a card. So the way Toxrill works is quite simple. Creature die with slug counter on it, you get slugged. Slug's not fun to fight because slugs hit you. Toxrill is just a field control deck that says you don't get creatures. Because on my end step, boom, and it's at each end step. Not if it was yours, this wouldn't be here, but each end step. So it comes to the bill, and your end step, all 1/1s are dead. Then that guy, all 2/2s are dead. Then 3/3s, then 4/4s. So by the time they don't have any tokens or creatures, and since tokens are very popular, tokens are dead. You can't play tokens against Toxrill because they're all going to die. And then when those creatures die, you're going to get tokens. And that's going to be annoying. And then all of a sudden, so you're like, okay, I see Toxrill, I can't play my token deck. And then, oh, I can't play my white weenie deck. And this is a creature-heavy base deck, and even though, like, it's a go-wide strategy, so I don't think I can because Toxrill is just going to ruin them, right? And that's the whole point. That's the thing Toxrill does. It makes you go, I can't play this deck. I can't play that. I can't play the deck. I hate Toxrill. I wanted to play these decks. It's the way I like to play Magic, and I can't because Toxrill says fuck you. And that's the problem with Toxrill. That's really where it comes straight down to it. It doesn't let people play Magic. And when you can't play Magic, you hate the game. I think Toxrill is a really interesting commander. And if you want to play it, check out the CDH lists. They're available. They're not that bad. Infinite. There's the whole build with it with infinitely triggering it by sacrificing slugs and drawing a bunch of cards. It's actually a really fun deck. The issue with it, CDH wise, it's a 7-drop, so it's a little hard, but you can make it work. People are still building. There's still community around Toxrill, and they really do like him and think it's interesting. So that's the thing. But the biggest issue is, like, casually, you just can't. Not letting people play creature decks sucks, and that's just not fun. And token decks are so popular, preventing people from doing that is not fun. It's the equivalent of running a card that say players can't gain life. You're like, okay, cool, now they can't run their life gain deck. Or like, Rest in Peace. Oh, people don't have graveyards. I get it, graveyard hate's fine, but Rest in Peace just says your deck doesn't function. Run a card that just says exile a graveyard so they can continue playing the game afterwards. Urza, Lord High Artificers, 2 generic and 2 blue for a 1/4 human Artificer. When Urza, Lord High Artificer enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token. With this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Tap and untap artifact you control, add a blue. Pay 5, shuffle your library, then exile the top card of your tail end of turn. You may pay that card without paying its mana cost. So Urza is on this salt list for one reason. It was everyone's introduction to CDH. Not even on purpose. People got Urza, went, oh, 0-drops work with this. Put a bunch in there. Realized by tapping like 10 of them, you can just trigger its effect. Oh, look, there's my win con. I can just keep on tapping these. And then win. And that's the problem. It has an infinite mana outlet. It produces a bunch of mana. And it can give you really... Oh. Excuse me. That was a sneeze. But yeah, and it can produce a lot of Well, and it produces a really big creature. And technically, if you flicker it, you can get more of that, which you can totally easily do because you're in blue. The second best color to flicker stuff. So, yes, because Urza's everyone's introduction to CEDH, everyone sees Urza and goes, that's a CEDH deck, that's what CEDH is. Urza doesn't really play CEDH anymore. It's not great. I mean, I think it might have some decks, and there are still lovers of it. I love it as a CEDH commander. I think it's really fun. I like Urza. Well, I think he's a terrible, terrible human wizard. Artificer? Yeah, human artificer. I think he's a terrible person, and he's not a good guy. But I like the card. I think it's a fun card. But because everyone saw it and went, oh, that's what CDH is, that's why people hate it. People see it and go, oh, it's a powerhouse deck. And you're like, no, it's a flicker deck that just makes a bunch of constructs. Yeah, I run a few donuts because they're the good ones. I don't just run pointless donuts. Oh, you still hate me? Oh, okay. I don't have infinite mana in this deck. I just kind of like use the effect for fun. Because it's fun! It's fun to just run a flicker. Ooh, boom, 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 boom. Check out all these cool constructs. They're really big. Like the giant constructs behind it, right? Just like flicker, flicker, boom, boom. Here's mana. Here's another one. Here's another one. They each buff each other. And then all these other artifacts you're running as ramp are buffing each other. And it's fun. It's an interesting casual deck. Don't do it unless you're playing with a group of friends. I guess this one I'll tell you, if you're playing with a group of friends who understand that you're just playing it for fun, that's fine. But don't. People, even if they look at your deck, they'll be like, you're up to something. And then you're not going to have fun. So do not play Urza at your local game store. You're just going to get hated out. Edgar, same thing. Same thing with freaking Edgar. Don't. Just don't. Edgar is hated. And you don't even have to cast him to be hated. Edgar is 3 a red, a red, a white and a black for a 4/4 vampire knight with imminence, which means it gets this effect even if it's in your command zone. Whenever you cast another vampire spell, if Edgar is in your command zone or on the battlefield, create a 1/1 black vampire creature token. Imminence was a mistake. First strike haste, when it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each vampire you control. This, you don't have to cast him. This is just, here's all my, okay. I said Urza was, Edgar is the other one that like maybe, yeah. Edgar is not even a CDH deck. I mean, I guess technically you could probably win some games in CDH with Edgar because I think it's gross enough to do that. And I'd honestly like to test that out and see if it still is up to par, where you just run the cheapest vampires and flood the field and just try to beat everyone up really quickly. Could be kind of fun. But like, casually, that's all you're doing with it. That's what the deck is designed around to do. It's designed to just go cast low CMC, low mana value vampires, get another vampire, and keep doing this. So turn 1, 1 vampire becomes 2. Turn 2, 2 vampires become 4. And now you're swinging with 2 vampires, and you just boom, boom, boom. And vampires aren't just 1/1s with no abilities. They're like a 1/1 with like flying, or a 2/2 with lifelink, or a 3-drop for a 3/3 with flying, lifelink, and death touch, and that's gross. They get keywords, and they do things, and it's annoying that you get a 1/1 with it, and they usually like seeing the 1/1s, and there's support for tribal that likes to see more, and these colors, and so, and at the end, you cast him for 6, and if it doesn't get countered or killed right away, it can attack, and then 1/1 counters. All my 1/1s, they're 2/2s. And all the other guys, all the 20 vampires I have, that minimum of 20 damage, it's actually minimum of freaking 40 damage. Yeah, don't. If you want to keep friends, don't. Look at the pretty boy, say hello, and move on. To the next card you shouldn't play, Send Triplets. Send Triplets is 2, a white, a blue, and a black. For a 3/3 legendary creature, artifact creature, human, wizard. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. This turn, that player can't cast spells or activated abilities, and players with their hand revealed. You may play lands and cast spells from that player's hand this turn. Oh, Google heard me, and my headset's connected to it as well. That was strange. Don't. D-O-N-T as in don't. Play. This. Card. You will be hated. No one will like you. Why? Because it's not fun. You, number one, you're gonna run ways to play to trigger upkeep twice or 3 times, and that way you can steal everyone's cards. Yay! But being able to play with opponents' cards is annoying. It's not fun. It's not interesting. You're stealing their cards. Cards that they wanted to play the game, to have fun with you. They wanted to build their boards. They wanted to have a good time. And Sin Triplet says, no, you don't get to have a fun time. I'm stealing your cards. And I'm going to do what I want to do, which is steal your cards and play the game. I'm going to play your cards. I don't want to play my cards. I want to play your cards. I've got cards that trigger off playing your cards. Don't play Sin Triplets. Stealing people's cards from their hands isn't fun. Again, stealing from the field is okay. They had their chance to play and have fun. It's not my fault. It's not your fault that they don't run haste. Stealing from their hand isn't fun. Yes, you can say it dies to removal, which it does, but you're casual, guys. Don't do it. Just don't. Like, again, if someone sees us in triplets, they're not going to enjoy it. They're going to be like, no, thank you. I just won't play against you. And so, yeah. I've played against Sin Triplets, and yeah, like, they choose you, they take your best cards. It's basically like, okay, I can't really do what I want to do. I got to get rid of the cards that I don't want you to have. So let me quickly get rid of those cards. And yes, if you run a lot of removal, cool, remove it. But here's the thing. That's the problem. It's the big problem. Say it with me. If it dies to removal, and the commander is the prime subject to removal at all costs because no one wants to deal with it, that's 3 opponents going, screw you. You're not going to be able to play your card. And if your whole deck is based around Sin Triplet's ability, you're not going to be able to play the game. So why would you build the deck? If it's counter or remove on site, don't. Narset Enlightened Master, this gets about the same thing. So Narset Enlightened Master, it's 3, a blue, a black, 3, a blue, a red, and a white for a 3/2 human monk. With first strike, hexproof, and whenever it attacks, exile the top 4 cards of your library. Until the end of your turn, you may cast non-creature spells from among the cards without paying its mana cost. Okay, Narset. I love my Narset. She's one of my favorite characters from Magic, and I absolutely love this card. I used to play it. And yes, I played it extra turns, and extra combat steps, and big stupid spells. If you want to play this card casually, big stupid spells are fine. Just remove extra turns and extra combat, and no one's going to hate the hell out of you. But the damage is already done. This was the CEDH deck before the other 2 I talked about. You know, everyone had their introduction. Narset, and then Edgar, and then Urza. Okay? None of them are really CEDH decks anymore. All of them are friend CEDH. You could probably build it and win like 20% of your games. 25% of your games, which is good. That's where you want to be. But, like, maybe you want to win more, right? But here's the thing. The thing about Narset is that, yeah, it gets that hate. But it can't just be removed. It has hexproof. So that's a lot harder to destroy it. So it's going to be countered. And if they're not running counters, then... and if you make it unblockable, now it can't be blocked as a small 3/2, right? Like, oh, look. Yeah. So you're going to think that's fun, but no one's going to want to play with you. Because extra turn spells aren't fun. Now you might say, oh, well, I'm not running extra turn spells or extra combat steps. I'm just running big stupid spells. They don't like that also. Because cheating on big stupid spells isn't fun for them. They don't want it. They're going to come up with any reason to hate Narset. Because she has done her time. And the time fit the crime. But no one has forgiven her for her crime. Everyone said, nope. You were still my first introduction to CDH. You were still my first introduction to the thing I don't want to do. Go away. So, yeah, don't play it. If you want to play Narset, there's other commanders. Other Narsets you can play. Some of them are more fun. So, don't play Narset. You're gonna get hated. Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow, same thing. This is another one of those introduction to CDH. The thing about this one is it actually is still CDH. And there's not really a way to not. Okay, So the CDH build of this deck runs the CDH cards and the combos, and now, let's say you're not, you're still being gross. Yuriko the Tiger Shadow is 1 a blue and a black, but you're never going to cast it for that. For 1/3 legendary creature, Human Ninja and Commander Ninjas use an ability. For blue and a black, you can return an unblocked attacking creature you control to your hand and put this card on the battlefield. From your hand or commander zone, tapped and attacking. When a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, reveal a top card of your library, put that card into your hand, and each opponent loses life equal to that mana follower. Okay, so Yuriko is like casually, you're just like, yeah, this is my ninja deck, and like there's no other better ninja commander, so you run Yuriko because it gives you draw power and hurts your opponents because it's each opponent, and now you can play cool big spells because like you attack with an unblockable creature, and Yuriko comes in, and then boom. I was topping, so here's my 10 drop, and now you all take 10 damage, and cool, that's 1/4 of your life. Let's keep playing. Oh, cool, here's like, later game, I'm attack you for 5 ninjas, and they're all unblockable because I made them unblockable. You take damage, and oh look, here's 5 cards I get to reveal, and look, you all took 20 damage, and I win the game. That's Yuriko. In a nutshell, you can just win by damage output with Yuriko. Okay, you can also win by finding win con because you draw with her. But yeah, the main gimmick of Yuriko is just the damage, and it's gross. Again, if you want to play Yuriko, build it in CDH. It's a really fun intro level idea for CDH. There's not a lot of complex stuff. You can win with Thorough combos because it's in the right colors for that. Or you win because you have some cool big spells that are still ran in CDH that you can reveal, like a 5 drop. I mean, there's even like some 9 drops people run in CDH. Not 9. I think like 6 or 7. But you drop those, and then you just deal a lot of damage to people, which can hurt them. Yuriko's a really fun and quick deck. Like, it comes out turn 2, guys. Turn 1, you play an unblockable. Turn 2, you swing with your unblockable, and you get Yuriko out, and you trigger its effect. So yeah, Yuriko's doing a lot really quickly, okay? So, I like it. I love it as a CDH deck. Don't play it casually. That's the reason you run a different Ninja Commander. So that people don't hate you out of the game. Atraxa, Praetor's Voice, the most popular commander, and that's why she's hated. Okay, some people ran into the issue that they ran into someone playing Infect on her, and it was like a time counter. Everyone gets an Infect. Kill me in 9 turns, otherwise you lose. Boop, 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 doop, boop, 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 doop. Yeah, okay, sorry. That wasn't fun of them, okay? There's a lot of ways to run Atraxa. I should know. I made 28 of those decks. I've built Atraxa 28 ways, and I'll talk about them in a podcast one day. But the thing about it is that it's overplayed. And this is hatred through proxy. People see it too much, and they don't like it. Even though there's like at least 28 ways to build Atraxa, I can actively say, I'm tired of seeing Atraxa. Maybe it's because I built it 28 ways, but stop playing this Atraxa. Play the new one. It's fun. It's interesting. Don't play this one, please. You're hurting me. It's overplayed. Can you do anything interesting? Did you just go to EDH Rec, look at the most popular commander, and build it? Because that's what they do. That's what Atraxa is. Stop it. Don't play it because no one wants to see it anymore. They're tired of it. It's not even that strong. But, like, it's popular, which means it's hated. So, yeah, don't play this card because you're going to get groans. I think out of every card on this list, this is the one I'm like, you could play it, guys. I mean, again, the salt level isn't because I hate this card. The salt level is because I'm tired of seeing this card, guys. Coma! Cosmos Serpent. 3 generic, 2 green, 2 blue for a 6/6 legendary creature serpent. This creature can't be countered. Okay, right off the bat, people don't like those. I wanted to counter it. I can't. Blue players hate it. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Coma's Coil. So that's their upkeep, their upkeep, their upkeep, your upkeep. Oh, look, I have 12 damage on board. Sacrifice another serpent. Choose one. Tap target permanent. and its activated abilities can't be activated. Coma, Cosmos, Serpent gains indestructible until the turn. That's why people hate Coma. You ramp Coma out, you run some creature or token doublers, you run other serpents, mind you, and all of a sudden, no one can do anything. No one can have fun. People want to go like, oh yeah, let's cast this or do that, and you're like, oh, you have an activated ability? Tap it. It can't be activated. You can just stop people from doing that. And if someone goes to remove Coma, it's indestructible. Continue building. It's, yeah. It's a 7-drop. But it is just a control piece, and you are just denying people from playing their deck, and that's the problem. It's the not fun part. It's built into the card. You can't even say, well, I didn't build it to do that. Yeah, you did. The card says tap target permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated this turn. It builds itself. Actually, here's the thing. You can't say you didn't build it because it makes the tokens, the serpent tokens, each upkeep. It tells you to sacrifice another one as an activated ability, and it tells you to do what? You're not telling me, oh, I was only ever going to make it indestructible. No, you're not. You're going to stop people from playing the game. Because it's the only way Coma works. It's the whole build around Coma. Is literally to just say you can't play the game with your activated abilities. So sure, maybe if someone's not doing activated abilities, they might have fun. But guess what? They also can't attack because you tapped them. So now I can't attack you, and I can't activate my abilities. And I wanted to activate my abilities. Stop ruining my fun! Don't run him. People are not going to like you. Corvold, Fey Cursed King. Yeah, let's talk about Corvold. Hey guys, remember all those other times I told you that like people ran into this card that taught them that CDH is a thing, and CDH is a thing? Yeah, Corvold's another one of those guys. Again, not really played anymore. Could be played just like the other three, not the fourth one. The fourth one is played, but this guy, I guess the third one's played. This is the fourth one. Not played anymore. Very much, honestly. Jun's not that good in this format. We lost the Goblin. But Corvold, Fey Cursed King, is 2, a black, a red, and a green for a 4/4 Dragon Noble with flying. And when it enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. And when you sacrifice a permanent, put a 1/1 counter on Corvold and you draw a card. So the whole point is that Corvold enters or attacks and you sacrifice a permanent and then boom, boom, boom. But whenever you sacrifice a permanent, you put a 1/1 counter and draw a card. So sacrificing like your treasures gets you stuff. So this is a treasure deck for the most part. And it's a dragon, so it's like really... It's a Dragon Noble, so like it really fits the idea that it's a treasure deck where you just constantly make treasures and you can draw cards. Okay, and on ETB and an attack, so on ETB you automatically do get a draw and a 1/1 counter on, and usually that's fun. And there's a lot of fun ways to build this deck, but unfortunately, it's a CDH deck according to casuals, so it should not be played. You're gonna get hated out of the game. People are gonna see Corvold, think it's too strong. They don't care what you're doing with the deck. They're gonna kill it on sight. And it's another reason not to play this commander, okay? It's a cool commander. It's a really flavorful commander. But, again, it's done the crime. It's did its time. And you're no longer in CDH jail. You're like CDH, you're on, CDH Pro, right? You're not good enough. But, once a CDH deck, always a CDH deck. And here's why, okay? As much as I keep crapping on the fact that these commanders aren't really played in CDH anymore, they were. So they're they're on parole, right? So you still don't trust them because they did the whole CDH thing. So even if, they're not good enough for CDH anymore, well then they're CDH light. And if they're CDH light, you still don't want to deal with it because now they're high power, okay? And I don't want to do a high power deck in my 2 bracket. Kennen! This is a CDH commander that people ran into and realized it was a CDH commander, and it's still a CDH commander. In fact, it's one of the most popular CDH commander out there. I'm looking at you, Tyler. Kennen Bond and Prodigy is a blue or a green and a blue for a 2/2 human druid. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. So this just allows you to tap stuff to get another. So you tap a creature, you get 2. Tap an elf, you get 2 green, right? If you tap a bird, you get 2 of any mana type that permanent produced. So if you tap an elf for like birds for green, you get 2 green. But Basalt Monolith can tap for 4 and then untap itself and get infinite mana. So Kinnan has an infinite mana built into it. Okay. 5, a green and a blue. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest of the bottom library in a random order. The point of Kinnan is, yes, it's actually a very fun deck. Okay? Because you can just get really big creatures in a fun way, and it produces double mana. But it's too strong. Casually. It's just too strong. Again, Kinnan is another CEDH deck. If you're new, try it. It is such a fun... It's 2 colors, so it's not too complicated. And it's such a fun commander in CDH, guys. Just play it. Just play it with CDH. Infinite mana allows you to drop a bunch of big guys down. It's fun. Play CDH, guys. Find a group. Have fun. Kinnan's fun there. Look at his smirk. It's from one of my favorite sets of all time. I love Ikoria. I love Mutate. And I love the companions. And no one's going to change my mind. I'll make a podcast on my love of Ikoria at some point, and everyone can hate me because no one likes Ikoria. Except me. And not the story. The less we talk about it, the better. But the world. I like Kinnan. Don't play him, you're going to be hated out. Okay, now we're getting to the Praetors. Let's talk Praetors, guys. We have to. Elesh Norn. Both Elesh Norns are on here. The original and Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. So, Grand Cenobite is 5 and 2 green, 5 and 2 white for a 4/2 Praetor with Vigilance, and other creatures you control get +2/+2, but creatures opponents control get -2/-2. Again, this is just that casual this is that classic, hey, you can't have fun playing Commander because your token or creature-based decks don't work. So go wide strategies don't work against this Commander, so you don't like me. So you're never going to let me keep Elesh Norn in the field or cast it. And if I do cast it, you will lose your stuff and you're going to get upset and you're going to pout and complain that all your tokens are gone, that wasn't really fair, and all my guys are bigger. Yay! Because, yeah, like, both versions of Elesh Norn is... No, I do it better. Because Elesh Norn is like, no, you're a go wide strategy, get rid of it. I'm a go wide strategy. Well, Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines, is 4 and a white for a 4/7 Phyrexian Praetor with Vigilance. And as a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control the trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. But permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities permanents your opponents control the trigger. Again, oh, you're an ETB deck? No, I'm an ETB deck. Because I double my ETBs. I get +2. Oh, you're a token deck? Oh, well, you're not a go wide deck. I'm a go wide deck. Look how big my 1/1s are. They're 3/3s. Yeah, but again, Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines isn't fun. Again, playing commanders that literally remove an archetype from the game shouldn't be done. If you want to run them in the 99 as like a board wipe that allows you to buff your army and a double triggers, you have other options. Please don't play this card. It's not fun. Okay, both have problems. And both probably just shouldn't be played in the 99 either. They both shut down whole decks. And sure, the Elesh Norn is worse because it's a 5-drop, not a 7-drop. But they both problematically hate stuff. But we're not talking about 99 here. We're talking as commanders. And again, if you play these, people are going to get mad at you. You're going to cast them. They're going to lose their creatures. They're going to kill it. And then they're going to rebuild. And the game just took too long. And Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines is just going to make people unhappy. Don't make people unhappy. Jin-Gitaxias. Jin-Gitaxias Core Augur and Jin-Gitaxias Progress Tyrant. Core Augur's 8 and 2 blue for a 5/4 Praetor with Flash. And at the beginning of your draw step, draw 7 cards. And each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 7. So, no one likes playing against it. No one likes playing against it. Don't play against it. Why? Why would you play Jin-Gitaxias? I don't think it's that bad because of how big it is. But yes, you can flash it in on like your opponent's end step to make them like lose their entire hand. which isn't nice. And on your end step, you draw a bunch of cards to cast all your spells. And, like, here's the thing. Normally, the biggest issue with, like, a 10 drop is that you can't do anything else on your turn. But you cast Jin Catechus on their end turn. They lost their entire hand, and now it's your turn. And if no one killed Jin Catechus, someone's going to kill it. Because maybe you cast it when everyone was tapped out. You get to draw 7 cards in your turn, and hopefully you protected it. And now no one gets hands at their end of turn. They better all cast their spells right now, otherwise they can't do stuff. But you just got a new hand, and you're running a bunch of counter spells, aren't you? Because you're not going to let them do anything. Again, it's hated. People hate it because it stops people from playing the game. Not having a hand isn't fun. Discard isn't a fun idea. Discard is fun if you also give them stuff to draw. Discard plus Hugs. And Progress Tyrant's 5 and 2 blue for a 5/5 Phyrexian Praetor, and whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, counter that spell. This ability triggers only once each turn. So the idea is that, like, you slow down your opponent by countering their first spell. So they gotta whiff a spell. They gotta cast a bad spell, and if they don't have a low CMC spell, they're screwed. But he is doing the you're a non-creature deck. Yeah, I do it better because I double my non-creatures. You can't even cast the first one. So I love that feeling. I mean, that's the whole point of these guys. They've always been no, but I can, and that's what Jin Catechus do. So like the first one is the same thing, right? No, you don't get cards, but I do. I'm gonna screw with your ability. Like, I'm so terrifying that you don't even remember how to do your stuff. You don't even remember the spells in your hand. But I remember all the spells in my hand and the next 7 in my library. It's gross. I love Praetors. I truly do. And they're the ones that I break this rule always. But I don't have to. And we'll get to why you don't have to in a second. Well, in a few slides. So, Vorinclex Voice of Hunger is 6 and 2 green for a 7/6 Praetor with Trample. And whenever you tap a land for mana, it taps for double the land. And whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, that land doesn't untap during controls an X untaps up. Again, this is that you can't, I can't. I double my mana, you slow down when you tap your mana. And it's not fun. It's not fun to play against. You just literally told them, hey, you can't use your mana. And if you do tap your lands for mana, you won't do anything next turn. And that's not nice. It's not fun. It's not friendly. It's just rude. So don't, honestly. And Vorinclex Monsters Raiders, the same thing. 4 and 2 blue, 2 green for 6/6 Phyrexian Praetor. Trample Haste. If you would put one or more counters on a permanent, put twice that many counters instead. And permanent or player? Yeah. And if an opponent would put a counter on a permanent player, put half that many. It's rounded down, so 1 would be 0. 2 would be 1. 3 would be 1. So yeah, like, it's not nice. It's not a nice card. And the thing about this one is Vorinclex Monsters Rider isn't as bad, like, not nearly as bad as a Voice of Hunger, because, like, Monsters Rider is just saying, like, hey, yo, no 1/1 counters. But again, it's that silver bullet in the command zone that just goes, I can't play my 1/1 counter deck, and I really wanted to play my 1/1 counter deck today. Let me put that away, because you're playing Vorinclex Monstrous Raider, and you want to play your 1/1 counter deck. Shieldred. The other Shieldred, very low on the salt list. I mean, it's still on there, but it wasn't the top 100, so I didn't care about it. And this is the last card we're going over, kind of. I'm going to do something fun in a second. Shieldred. The Apocalypse is 2 and 2 black for a 4/5 Phyrexian Praetor. Death Touch. Whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. When your opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. Again, it's that whole dichotomy. Gix failed. I shall not. I love Gix. He's my favorite card from all of Magic lore, or creature, character from Magic lore. But here's the thing about Shieldred. Here's the thing I love about Shieldred. Okay. I hug you. Hugs, and then you die. Now, the thing about Shieldred is, yeah, people like to draw cards. People want to draw cards. Shieldred says you can't do that. You can't just draw willy-nilly, guys. That's not nice. And people want to draw cards. And that's the thing. Some of these are silver bullets. Some of these aren't. This is not a silver bullet. This just says you draw cards. get hurt, and people want to draw more than one card a turn, and even that one card's 2 damage, and that's 2 lost life, and that's still like a chunk out of your life, like a small chunk, but still there, and it'll add up over time, and you're gonna make me draw more cards, aren't you? And now I'm dead, aren't I? Yes. So, but give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna do one more thing. Okay, I'm back. Let's do this. I wanted to end on a high note, a fun note, okay? And that fun note is you can still play Praetors. Yes, one of the Shieldreds isn't as hated, but it's still disliked and it's still killed on spot. Urbrask isn't. The other two, the two Urbrasks are not completely fine commanders. There's no problem, okay? But if you want to play your Praetors and have fun with them, here's your Praetors to have fun with them. Let's go over these as one final. Yeah, those are the cards you shouldn't play, but here's some you can. Okay? Here's some designs that are really interesting, really fun, and you can play them. Elish Norn is 2/2 white for a 3/5 Phyrexian Praetor with Vigilance, and if a sorcerer opponent controls deals damage to you or permanent control, the sorcerer's controller loses 10 life unless they pay a generic one generic. And for 2 generic and a white, you can sacrifice 3 other creatures and exile Elish Norn, and then return to the battle with transform under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, the Argent Etchings is a saga. These are all saga flips. For it's chapter 1. Incubate 2 5 times, then transform all incubated tokens you control. So you get you incubate 2 5 times, so you get 5 2/2s that get flipped into creatures. And then for chapter 2, creatures you control get +1/+1 gain double strike till the turn, which is cool because now all those 2/2s, those 5 2/2s are actually 5 3/3s with double strike. And then a third one, destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. Exile the arrogant etchings, then return to the battlefield. So it comes back as Elish Norn, who then has that control feature, and then again you can sacrifice their 3 creatures and keep the loop going, making more things. And yeah, she's the mother. She's just making a bunch of like incubator guys, and it's a fun deck, and it is so Elish Norn. Jin-Gitaxias is 3/2 blue for a 5/5 Phyrexian Praetor with Ward 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, draw a card. This is super fun. You get to play some big cards. Big non-creature spells too, which is interesting in blue. And you get to draw cards for it. So every 3 mana value or higher has a text on it. Draw a card. 3 in a blue. Exile Jin-Gitaxias, return to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery and only if you have 7 more cards in your hand. You will get 7 more cards, mainly because you're running a lot of expensive cards, so it's harder to get them, but also because you get to draw a card off of them. But the Great Synthesis is chapter 1 is a saga with chapter 1 draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. You have no maximum hand size for as long as you control the Great Synthesis. This is cool. If you have, you're going to have minimum 7 cards in your hand, so you're going to draw 7 cards here. So you got 14 cards to play around with. At 2, return all non-Phyrexian creatures to their owner's hands. So you're not playing a lot of creatures, which is fine. But the creatures you can play were going to be Phyrexians because you will bounce everything. And you just get some like cool instants and sorceries you're casting. I like playing it as a mill deck because you get some really cool instant sorcery mill cards. And at 3, you may cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Exile the Great Synthesis, then return them to your battlefield. That's Jin-Gitaxias again. But yeah, you can cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Exile. So you do have to do it before Jin-Gitaxias go into the field, mind you. You just cast them all without paying, and you get a bunch of cool cards. And that's fun. And it's a bunch of big cards because that's how Jin-Gitaxias is working. So I like it. I think it's a really fun commander. Shieldred, 3/2 blue, or 3/2 black for a 4/5 Phyrexian Praetor. With Menace, when it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or planeswalker. That's fine. And for 4 in a black, exile Shieldred, then return to the battlefield to transform under its control. Activate only if as a sorcery, and only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. The True Scriptures. For 1, for each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls. For 2, each opponent discards 3 cards, then mills 3 cards. And at 3, put all creature cards from all graves onto the battlefield under your control. Exile the True Scriptures, then return to the battlefield. I loved this shield. It's such a fun creature to play. There's a lot to go around where you get to just like cast it, make them lose some stuff. Once you flip it, they're gonna have like at least one opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, but you're gonna be milling them or discarding them or controlling their field, and all of a sudden you'll get the flip, and it's kind of fun to go, hey look, you guys lose more, you lose more, give me everything. Urbrask, yeah, and the thing is this the front sides aren't as bad as the back sides, but to get to the back sides, there's so much hoops you have to jump through, so people don't mind it. Okay, Urbrask is 2 and 2 blue, 2 and 2 red for a 4/4 Phyrexian Praetor for a first strike, and whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, Urbrask deals 1 damage to target opponent, and you get a red. This allows you to just kind of like storm off with small instant sorceries that do fun things that like draw you cards, and then you get a red and you can keep going to deal damage. But for a red, exile Urbrask, then return to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery and only if you've cast 3 or more instant sorcery spells. At Chapter 1, the Great Work deals 3 damage to target opponent and each creature they control, so you can just kind of remove their field. At 2, create 3 treasure tokens, and at 3, until end of turn, you may have instant or sorcery spells from your graveyard, or you may until end of turn you may cast instant sorcery spells from your graveyard. If a spell is cast this way, put it in your graveyard, exile. It's put in your graveyard, exile instead. Exile the Great Work, then return it to the battlefield. This is meant to kind of be a burn deck, right? So like. The cool thing is that the end of the turn, till end of turn, which means it flips. So all those like 1-drops that you're drawing cards that are triggering all these other creatures that are burdening your opponent, along with Urbrask. Urbrask is saying, yeah, those are all in my graveyard now, and guess what? I'm going to cast them all again, and I'm still getting my 1 mana to keep casting them. So it's all about running like 1-drop instants and sorceries that do cool things, and I love that. Run a few cards that trigger off them with them, and you'll have a fun time. And last, Vorinclex is 3 and 2 green for a 6/6 Phyrexian Praetor. Again, with Shieldred, you had that one you could kind of play, but I wouldn't. Urbrask wasn't a problem, but the other 3, no one would let you play the other guys, but these guys you can get away with. Now, Vorinclex here, right, is 3 and 2 green for a 6/6 Phyrexian Praetor with Trample and Reach. When Vorinclex enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 forest cards. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle. For 6 and 2 green, exile Vorinclex, then return it to your battlefield, transform under its owner's control, activate only as a sorcery card. So into the battlefield, you get 2 forests, reveal them, put it in your hand. So extra land drops is fun, right? You can go like, oh, I can play 2 or 3 lands each turn, now I can play them. And it costs 8, that's the cost for casting it. Whew. And then you get the Grand Evolution, which is a 3-chapter saga. Chapter 1, mill 10 cards, put up to 2 creature cards from among them, mill cards on the battlefield. So yeah, mill 10 cards, you're running some big creatures, system big creatures. 2, distribute 7 1/1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Those 2, like, oh, you got 2 creatures? Let's put 4 on this one and 3 on that one. And at 3, until end of turn, creatures you control pay 1. This creature fights target creature you don't control. Exile the Grand Evolutionary, then return to the battlefield. So all those 2 creatures, or any other ones you with big creatures you can have them fight to clear out fields. I love these cards, and I wanted to end on a positive note. I hate being negative. Yes, don't run those other cards, okay? But do run these if you're looking at running any of the Praetors. You'll have a good time. I'm Izzy. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a wonderful week. Peace.